If there is one thing that this new Avengers series has going for it, is that it is just incredibly brutal with its kills. Like, we literally seen Black Bolt get decapitated, and even here the villain of this issue gets completely just executed in a pretty ridiculous fashion. Though as always, this is AJ here at The Hero Informer. Now initially this issue picks up and follows Namor, and by extension his evil clone who is controlling him currently, Imperious Rex. The clone, who has even stronger telepathy than him, is able to not only control him but make him fight against his fellow Avengers. Now I'm gonna be honest here, I'm not too knowledgeable about Namor, and after looking into him a little bit, Namor is pretty freaking strong. Like, he has battled Hulk multiple occasions, other high tiers like that, Thor time to time, and not even counting that when he's submerged and underwater his strength doubles and he's even stronger. So yeah, it's no surprise here once he is just completely soloing the Avengers and everybody else here. And very interestingly, we get a glimpse inside of Namor's head, because as he's unable to control his own actions and what he's doing, almost killing people he cares about and respects, he goes on to think and even pray to Neptune, who in Marvel at least is just another name, and it's basically just Poseidon of the Greek pantheon. He just goes by Neptune and many other different aliases. But Namor goes on to say, "For my entire life you have given me strength, so I pray to you to help me before I pound Bucky Barnes into oblivion." Because for right now he is essentially possessed by a demon with his own face. Namor, the former king, reduced to nothing more than a puppet. But even as this team here, the Avengers, try their best to subdue Namor, kicking him, blowing him up, shooting him, it all does less than nothing. Namor is able to just brush it off without a second thought until Clea, the second most powerful, or most powerful depending on how you look at it, member of the group here, using the crimson bands of Sidorak to bind Namor and figure out what exactly is going on. Clea deciding to pry into his mind to try and sever the connection between him and his clone that is controlling him, but Namor is just too strong. He eventually breaks the crimson bands of Sidorak, momentarily stunning everybody on the field and then flying out of there. Which again just goes to show you that yeah, Namor is pretty freaking strong, and unironically pretty underrated in terms of strength. Now from here, two very big things happen. Obviously Namor is escaping, but we do pick up on a slight loose end from before. Previously Namor and Tony Stark, the evil clone of Tony anyway, fought, and Namor won, killing him and then drowning him within some random body of water. Except here we see that truly isn't the case. Whether it's just the armor or even the clone itself, somehow he is able to reboot and start whatever resuscitation protocols to bring him back alive. So the Avengers already have one loose evil genius in the form of Reed Richards out there, and now they might have two in the form of Tony Stark. Though back over with Namor and his clone, Namor isn't a genius by any means, yet his clone here does a couple things better than him. Of course, we know his telepathy is way stronger, able to override Namor's himself and control him, and even more so his Atlantean DNA was souped up times 10. When he first saw him, he was nothing more than a child, a tadpole if you will. But this Imperious Rex goes on to say, "Our genetic material is Atlantean, human, and mutant, a potent mix, now inflamed by the cloning process. I've been drifting through the seas, drawing power from the waters, and they have fueled my evolution." So yes, while Namor gets stronger underwater, so does his clone, to an absurd degree, because as he finally emerges from the water, he's just giant, like Godzilla levels big, a titan, one-shotting and destroying some random bridge in the middle of Australia. And to be honest, this kind of got me thinking, like, I know the Avengers are gonna come and save the day, stop this giant threat, whatever have you, but are there even any superheroes in Australia or other major parts of the world? Of course, in America, there's plethora of different heroes all across the country. Yet, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any other major teams except Canada. I know they have the mutant squad or whatever over there, but aside from that, I don't think there's any other major teams that stationed or in other parts of the world, like Australia, for example. But Imperious Rex here now vows to conquer not only the underwater world, but now the surface world as well, even commanding Namor, his lackey, if you will, to go out and just cause destruction and chaos, plowing through skyscrapers and buildings and just blowing up cars and just causing destruction all around. All while Namor is just helpless to even do anything, which is pretty scary. Your body just out doing evil and there's nothing you can do to even stop yourself. Though luckily for him, he does have some very powerful friends. That's just then Wolverine comes barreling in from a portal opened by Clea and launches him to the ground. Of course, it's not just her, it's the entire new Avengers lineup with Carnage, the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Clea, etc. Now, the entire reason why they got here in a couple minutes earlier is because while they were out searching for Namor, who has just disappeared on them, Lore, using a Wolverine themed phone, somehow found a live stream where someone was streaming all the chaos going on in Australia and the appearance of Namor and his clone. So of course, now with the new coordinates, they arrive all here to set things straight. Imperious Rex inside of his giant form just knocking down building after building. Of course, the civilians here aren't having a good time, whereas Carnage actually loves this, you know. He didn't agree to be on the Avengers team because, you know, he changed his ways and truly wants to help people and defend the innocent. No, you know, being on the Avengers team just allows him to fight, take place in part of all this chaos and murder more bad guys, which is exactly what the Carnage symbiote itself wants, going on to directly say, that monster is ours to slaughter. Do not let your little friends get in the way. Though eventually for now he gets put on saving civilians instead of just causing more chaos. Though being distracted, this allows Clea to use her ultimate move, or special move that she has used before at this point, just using a portal to cut off a part of the villain's body. Instead of Black Bolt's head previously, as we've seen, now it's just one of his tendrils, which again is just stupidly overpowered because you just can't counter it. Like a part of your body being sent into an other dimension, which by the way gets into the same part that Black Bolt's head is, and we even see that, just some random part in the dark dimension, but it's just stupidly effective. Well, it would have been against any other person that can't regenerate, because that's what the Imperious Rex does here. Him regrowing the same tendril, instead now it's bigger and stronger as he just continues to destroy the city, knocking down more buildings and forcing Clea and Bucky Barnes to escape out of there. And while all this is happening, Namor is still fighting Wolverine. The only reason she is able to even just contend with Namor is because, well, not only her healing factor, but, you know, her adamantium weapons and skeleton. Able to slowly cut away and prick Namor, drawing blood, whatever have you. But it's just not enough to fully stop him. He's still under the control and unaware of his own actions. And nothing truly changes until Wolverine is able to get inside of his head. Namor still thinking that he should be above this. He's a king. He's royalty. Laura just responding, who cares? We don't need noble Namor now. And which just finally gets him to think, she's right. The will of a king falls beneath the will of a monster. But Namor has been both. He has been the same king as he has been the same villain and monster before. He has waged war against billions. Generations of children fear his name. Finally able to break free of his evil clone's control, saying Imperious Rex, you will never be a bigger monster than me. Which, I mean, is an interesting way to break free. He's finding the willpower and strength in being a bigger monster and evil person than his actual evil clone here is trying to be. But even still, this might not be enough. His evil clone is just so much more powerful, bigger, stronger than Namor is currently. So Namor getting freed and helping the Avengers isn't really much of a difference in the outcome of this battle. Well, it wouldn't be if they didn't have a trump card in all of this. No, it's not Clea using her magic or anything. It's actually Carnage this time. Him slowly but surely taking over and assimilating with Imperious Rex, weakening him and holding him in place long enough for Namor to finally do something, finally take out the evil perversion of himself. Namor now flying with everything he has, all of his strength, all of his speed, barreling straight towards his clone before just whipping out his entire skull and spine. Yeah, like I said, the kills in this series are pretty brutal, but they also are pretty freaking cool at the same time. Which is good, the day is saved, the monster is killed in this case, but the city is just completely in ruins and destroyed. Like, yes, we saved the day, but there's millions in property damage and who knows how many lives lost throughout this entire battle. Though in the aftermath, a couple things happen. One, less importantly, Wolverine, Laura Kinney, has actually gained Namor's respect. Respect enough for him to actually call her Wolverine and not an imposter or a fake clone of the original like he has done before. And secondly, more importantly, Carnage's bloodlust and bloodshed isn't quelled by just these villains here. No, in his mind, Carnage the symbiote, who was kind of forcing Eddie Brock to do his will, has his sights on the heroes themselves, each of them being a hidden target for him to eventually be able to kill and take out, which is going to be a whole thing in and of itself. Though for now, they still have the giant thing of, you know, finding this evil Reed Richards before he can destroy the universe with whatever plot or plan he is coming up with. Bucky even going on to say that the only lead they have now to follow Reed Richards requires a specific device he has back in his hideout. As when we cut over to Bucky's safe house, you know, Black Widow and him take this time to get acquainted, if you will, while everybody else is outside talking, slowly coming together as an actual team unit. Eventually, Bucky is able to come back with the part that Stark gave him a while ago that allows him to tap into the satellites above on Earth. And using said satellites and giant sensors in them, he specifically looks for cosmic rays. Now, they all give their theories about what this evil Reed Richards could be doing. Laura goes on to say if she were him, she would build an army of herself. Clea saying that she would rewrite the laws of physics, Carnage saying that he would turn the world into a torture dungeon, and Namor, of course. Namor's thought process is way more simpler. If he was Reed Richards, you know, he would obviously take the time to get with Sue Storm, the thing he has tried to do many times before to no success. Though eventually Bucky is able to get a hit and location on whatever Reed Richards has been doing in the time he's been away. And as we move over to Ecuador, we see just, like, I don't even know what to make of this. It looks like the thing's head just giant and dead, of course. Now, it's unclear if this is the main Marvel universe, is the thing, just whatever Reed has done to him, or if this is just some alternate universe version of the thing that Mr. Fantastic has been experimenting on for whatever he has planned going forward. But we're going to see exactly that in the next issue as this video and issue comes to a close. As always, if you have enjoyed, leave a like or subscribe if you're new and want to see more content just like this. This was AJ here at The Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.